This is Kit Kabinet with the inbox review of the Italeri Super Etendard with Exocet in 1/72 scale. The Super Etendard was released by Italeri quite a while ago, and it's a nice model, even though originally it's not an Italeri kit. Let's have a look inside. We'll start off with this sprue, and this part of the fuselage is already off the sprue. And let's see if we can have a closer look here. We have some very nice recessed panel lining here. So the surface of this kit looks very nice, especially for a kit of that age. And here's the other fuselage half. The lower fuselage has some nice wheel well detail, even some basic air brake interior detail. Your air intakes. So at first glance it looks very nicely detailed. Here we have the air brakes themselves. The holes in the air brakes are closed up though. You might want to open them up with a small drill or something. And here are the wings. And again, the surface detail is very nice. Very crisp. There's even some more wheel well detail here. And what's also very nice here is that the sprue injection gates here on the wing, I don't know if you can see that, there are some really huge gates that you'll have to cut off, of course, to get a good fit with the other parts here. But this is probably done so that you have a real nice subtle aerofoil here on the underside of the wing. So that looks very well done as well. And here we have the Ordnance sprue, some fuel tanks, and here we have the famous, or depending on your viewpoint, the notorious Exocet missile. Also very nicely detailed. Some Matra Magique missiles. They look a bit basic but passable. Here's the cockpit with the seat. Same here, a bit basic, passable, could use some extra detail. Same goes for the wheels here, a bit basic, could maybe use some extra detail, and the nose wheel as well. But for that time when this was originally released, this was highly detailed. The transparencies, if you can see them, I'll bring them up a bit closer here. They've been a bit scratched over the years, but nothing about the future can't solve. These transparencies are on the thick side, but still passable. The lens affected, the lens distortion isn't too bad. What you see here as well is that you get two canopies, and one is for the open position and one is for the closed position. So take that into account, that you use the right part for the right option. The decal sheet. Well, at first glance it looks good enough. You have markings for an Argentine aircraft, and you also have an option for two French aircraft, number 12 and number 14. Now the thing is, these old Italeri decals aren't like the modern Cartograph ones. They're quite stiff and they have a tendency to silver a lot, so you'll have to be aware of that. And what's also a thing is that these decals are not complete. For example, for the camouflaged French version, there are a couple of numbers missing. It's quite annoying. Also, the markings for the Argentine version are a bit misshapen, so that's a bit of a bummer. Also, if you get, for example, the Academy release of this very same kit, Academy's decals are also notoriously thick and stiff and very hard to work with. So to get a good complete set of decals, you probably need to get some aftermarket decals. So be aware of that. The instructions. We have some introductory stories in several languages here. A nice sprue map. And yeah, basically the instructions are very straightforward. It's also a very nice, simple and easy kit to build if you follow your constructions very closely and fit everything together precisely, then it will fit. It's actually a dream to build, at least that's my opinion. And here we have some painting instructions for version number, the French aircraft number 12. There's a couple of versions that you can build, and they're on the box. The Argentine version, the camouflaged French version, but the uncamouflaged version that you can build is only in the instructions. So the versions that you see on the box are just 2 versions of 3 that you can build. So yes, this looks like a very nice and beautiful kit to put together, which it also is. But there are a couple of serious shape issues. Number 1 being that the nose, this nose section, is too straight. To make it sag a bit more, which is very typical for aircraft performing flight deck operations on an aircraft carrier, which this thing was built for. The nose has to sag a bit more for, yeah, for the view of the pilot. And that would require some serious operation here and realigning here, if you're up for that. And another point, which is actually a bit more serious, is that the Etendard fuselage had area ruling. So the area ruling is there for aircraft flying at transonic speeds, and it usually looks as if the fuselage is a bit pinched in the middle, sometimes a bit like a Coca-Cola bottle, old style Coca-Cola bottle. And that area ruling fuselage pinch is not present at all. Now this is very difficult to correct. This is quite some work to correct with the nose. And it's basically the choice of the builder. If you want to go through all that trouble, the model will look very nice when put together. It's a very good looking kit. But yeah, there are some shape issues. It's also still one of the best Super Etendard kits that you can buy nowadays. So in conclusion, is this a perfect kit? Certainly not. Is it a nice looking kit? Absolutely.